So, I was thinking this week when we're handing out pamphlets on the campaign trail.
Shut up, Steve.
And welcome back to the Retro Review. I am the Bearded Geek, always joined by Mikey the Freak
What's up?
and Steve. All right. Steve's just doing sign language
Hitting
now.
you
Yeah.
with the Dakota Kai.
There you go. All right, guys.
Once
if you
again,
did not-
Spaceballs!
Yep.
If you haven't figured it out, we're not talking about Spaceballs.
We are not talking about Spaceballs. We're talking about Black Sheep. But before we get into it, let's check out that trailer.
Yes, let's.
Dark Sheep.
Oh.
Tommy Boy. Timu Tommy Boy.
Al Donnelly might just
Play.
Where's it at?
Al
There
Donnelly
we go.
might just be the next governor of Washington State.
All the way to the Capitol!
After he got out of the
Small problem.
Animal House.
Yep.
His brother Mike.
Oh, Jesus.
What the hell is a marquee doing here?
His heart is in the right place.
Ow!
Every fucking
The
scene.
rest of him never is.
Oh my God!
It's so funny because he does the tie. He does the tie scene. All right there.
Mm-hmm.
He does it in Tommy Boy also.
Under control.
Okay, good first day.
I want you to do exactly as I tell you.
Yeah, okay, keep talking.
I know a place way outside of town.
Bunk beds. I got dibs on tap. Okay.
I got dibs on top bug. Shut up!
Shut up!
So what
Shut
do you
up,
want to do today?
Richard.
Shut up, Richard! Every time I just...
Shut up, Richard.
Whoa! Ah! What are you doing? Damn thing's caught on my belt!
Hi.
I feel like a horse's patoot.
Paramount Pictures presents
Are you or are you not the Black Angel of Death?
Chris Farley,
Don't agree with me. Just make
Kill Whitey.
more. Kill
Yeah.
Whitey!
David Spade,
Hey, gang!
Is there an open convention in town?
Terminator. The Terminator's driving.
My ass.
The nitrous oxide's leaking into the car.
in a new comedy from the director of Wayne's World.
Of course.
Check this out. This whole fridge is held up here just by this plug.
I have chocolate pudding in my underpants.
You okay?
We didn't have any chocolate pudding.
I got a bowl of chocolate pudding in my underpants.
We didn't have any pudding in there, buddy.
There's
Oh.
one in every family.
Lorne Michaels.
You know, and the thing is they said from the director of Wayne's World, which is funny because Wayne's World is a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Mikey the Freak, what'd you think about this on rewatch?
Should I tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about
Mikey,
the
why
movie?
don't
you
tell us a
I don't
little
want to
about
tell you
this
what I
film?
thought about it on rewatch.
Tell us
yet.
a little bit more about this and then tell us what you thought about this on rewatch. Yeah.
Let's do it that way. So, a gubernatorial candidate hires a wormy special assistant. Oh my God! Whose only job is to make sure the candidate's well-meaning but incompetent brother doesn't ruin the election. So David Spade, played by
Okay.
played by Steve. I was gonna say Richard again. Gonna play by Steve and tries to keep Chris Farley's character, Mike Donnelly, out of his brother's way. Al Donnelly, Tim Matheson. But of course, the election's rigged. He tries to get back and tries to stop it. Of course, you have a psychotic person they meet by Gary Busey, which come to find out all his ancestors voted, but they've been dead for 100 years, give or take. It's one of those movies to where it's definitely a Chris Farley movie, but just
Really,
very
really quick. Can we talk about buttered sausage?
buttered
I just-
Better.
sausage. I like buttered
I
sausage.
really like buttered sausage. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's funny. I met him years ago, and he is just as crazy in real life as he is in every scene that he's ever played. So that was my rendition of it, but definitely a weird movie. Not as funny now as it used to be, and I think that and not that like we're more mature, because I definitely don't think that's the case.
No.
No, I just think like this movie, like because you compare this to Tommy Boy, right? Because you have David Spade, Chris Farley, David Spade, Chris Farley. So Tommy Boy, and it's funny because I watched Tommy Boy today as well. When you compare the two, Tommy Boy is such a better movie all around, and it's not just Chris Farley acting completely stupid, falling down, getting hit in the face, which happens in Tommy Boy. Yes, don't get me wrong, but almost every single scene in Black Sheep has something to do with Chris Farley having some kind of accident or being stupid, or I mean, just you name it. Everything happens to this guy. So I think it was part of the process and part of the plan because of his brother. Mike Donnelly's supposed to be a giant fuck up. I mean, just point blank. And he's going to end up ruining Al Donnelly's election. So I get that part, but I think they just did it way too much, just way over the top in this movie. So I mean that's what I thought on the rewatch. What about yourself, Bearded Geek?
Yeah, this movie it made sense, but all the physical comedy in this movie was uncalled for. Like there was way too much of it, and the setup for it was not even good. He would just be standing there, and I'm falling down a hill. I mean, there was no real reason
No,
for
he
him to.
took a step. He took a step forward and then he slipped.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
And then the
Yeah,
Rock, they
that's
played
it.
they
Yeah.
played the Rock out a little bit too much. It was the
They
raccoon's fault because the sandwich fell in a little crack, so the raccoon was digging it out, and then a bird shit on the rock, so the rock falls and pushes the cabin all over the place.
It
Yeah.
helps if you never move the pieces in the back row.
Yeah, there was just too much physical comedy. They could have laid off about half of it, and it probably would have made the movie better.
It did, Tommy Boy.
Yeah, it just was not good. It was too much, way too much. How about you, Steve? What'd you think about this movie on rewatch?
Timu Tommy Boy. I remember enjoying this movie as a younger gentleman. Not saying I didn't enjoy this on rewatch. I did actually watch this. Not only do we have Tim Matheson from Delta House, but we also have Daniel D-Day Sampson on the enemies team at that.
Right.
No, it's I watched like half of the movie on mute because I was doing other things and
You probably got more out of it doing it that way.
I read the subtitles when I
It's
was
rough.
watching and yeah.
Yeah, it was
And
not
I'm
good.
sure there's a bunch of Chris Farley fans out there, so we're not knocking on Chris Farley at all. Yeah, but it's the movie, man. It was just so rough to rewatch now compared.
I really think that they rushed this movie to theaters after Tommy Boy to try to capitalize in on the success of Chris Farley, and they did too much for it. They did too much with it.
It's like I said before we started recording. If they wanted to make a sequel to Tommy Boy, they should have just made a sequel to Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fully agree. All right, let's go ahead and rate this movie. Mikey the Freak, what would you rate this movie?
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, the cast. I mean, again, the cast is still good. You've got the mother from Richie Rich. Can't remember her name off the top of my head. Yeah, Tim Matheson. Man,
Gary Busey.
Gary Busey. You were mentioning his name. He's been in.
You
He
talking
was
about Bruce McGill?
Bruce McGill. God, I don't know why I remember. He's been in tons and tons of great movies out there.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, good cast, even great cast for the time for mid '90s. But yeah, it's gonna be. It was a tough rewatch. So I'm saying a solid 5. I think
Okay.
six tops, but I'm gonna go with a 5 just because it does make you laugh. On some scenes, it does make you laugh, but I think it just starts to get a little bit ridiculous. I think is the word ridiculous, stupid, funny.
Kill Whitey.
Yeah.
Drinking, smoking some weed.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go a little bit less
Come
than you
on,
and just
man.
give it a 4. Actually, I
Well, I'll
was
go with a 6.
bored.
You can do a 5. No, I'm kidding.
No, you win a 5. I'm
I
giving
thought
it
a
a 4.
5.
So I was basically bored throughout this entire movie. There were parts that made me laugh, maybe giggle a little, but
Yeah.
it was just like it was painful to get through a lot of it, to tell you the truth. So that is what I thought of this movie. Steve, how about you? What would you rate this movie?
Like a 5.5.
Split the difference, or oh no, you went higher than Mike. So
Like a 5 point. I can't give it a 6, but it's like I don't
It's
know.
not
Yeah,
6 worthy.
it's a 5. It's a 5.5. I don't know, man.
yeah, I get it. All right, how about some facts about this movie?
Ah,
Uh,
do we really?
Yeah, Chris Farley uses the same football play with the kids at the youth center, 32 belly option, as he did when he and Rob Lowe went cow tipping in Tommy Boy.
What? They tried to
This
make a sequel.
Yeah, there you go. The security guards behind Mike at the Rock the Vote scenes are Chris Farley's real life brothers, Kevin P. Farley and John Farley.
Oh, I didn't know the other one was his brother.
Yeah. And the cabin used on the outskirts of town is the same cabin used in Jill's cabin in Joe Dirt, another movie starring David Spade.
Jesus.
So there you have it. Those are your facts that may be fun.
No.
So
Wait a second. You're going to tell me you don't have any bunghole whistlers? You don't have any spleen splitters? You don't have any whistler dizzlers? Sorry,
No dirt.
no. All right, Steve, what do we have for soundtrack for this movie?
Backslider by the Toadies. Poisoned Water Poisons the Mind by Mudhoney. Penetration by the Blue Hawaiians. Dueling Banjos. Lady Marmalade by LaBelle. Punk by Rusty. Lord is Monkey by the Butthole Surfers. All regret chicken wire situation nailed. Written by George Foster. In all actuality, it's all regret, comma, chicken wire, comma, situation, comma, nailed. And Get a Job by Hog.
All right. Well, there you have it for soundtrack. Mikey the Freak. What do we have for related reels?
Yeah, so we went with Chris Farley. Of course, all his big roles. Billy Madison. Went with Coneheads, of course. Love Coneheads. And then, of course, we've been talking about Tommy Boy. Went with Tommy Boy.
I swear to God, if someone throws one more thing at me, I'm gonna take this bus and ruin this.
Oh no, the bus driver ate all the sandwiches. um, so David Spade, Joe Dirt, Bench Warmers, and Grown Ups.
Sound like you said bitch.
Bench Warmers.
That's a different type of movie.
And now it's Tommy Boy also. He's a bitch warmer. And then I went with Tim Matheson. We've done Tim Matheson in the past with some of our other movies we've recorded. So Animal House, Fletch, and Van Wilder.
John Cockenstein.
John Cock Toaston.
John Toaston.
Cock Toastoy. Cock Toastoy.
What name did I just tell
well,
you guys?
Was that?
Huh?
Nothing. Just keep
No. All right, well, that does it for related reels. As we come to a close, Steve, you should have everybody do all the YouTuber things. Give us a good old thumbing. Hit that like, subscribe. Let us know what you thought of this movie.
Give us the thumbins. Follow us on YouTube because he's telling that I should say it, so you should do it. Yeehaw!
Make sure you check out the Mod Squad Network, where we have a movie show, a gamer show, a conversation show, and we go live every Saturday night with a giveaway. All right, that does it for this episode of Back to the Retro Review. So for Mikey the Freak and Steve, I am the Bearded Geek saying, if we don't see you again, thank you for being a friend.
Don't watch this movie.
Phew, phew.